Thank you, Jill. Can everyone hear me? All right, good. Everyone, good afternoon. Like she mentioned, I am a Penn State alumni from Wilkes-Barre. And I have to say from the start, I had an amazing time here at Wilkes-Barre. The resources that's available to you guys, it's amazing. There's everything from career services. A lot of the faculty members and staff reach out to you and help you. So it's important to really take full advantage of it. During my 2 years here, they really helped me grow, not just professionally and career-wise, but personally as well. So everyone, it's important while you're here that you really take full advantage of what Penn State Wilkes-Barre has to offer. Out of show of hands, how many are going to University Park though? All right, and how many are going to be staying in Wilkes-Barre the whole 4 years? All right, so for you guys, one more question thinking about it. How many are planning to go to University Park and then come back to Wilkes-Barre? So is your ticket out of Pennsylvania for the most part? All right. Well, for the people who are staying here, networking is going to be very important for you guys to really reach out, meet new people, find people who are influential, who actually help you achieve your goals, both professionally and in your career. And this, I want to make this kind of an informal environment. Guys, if you have any questions, raise your hands. Don't be shy, because I feel like you get a lot more out of it if you're asking questions than really just listen to me talk about networking the whole time. For the most part, what networking is, this is kind of considered networking. You come here, you talk to your peers beforehand, you listen to a presentation, you talk afterwards, you meet new people. Essentially that's what networking is about. For me, networking is a little different to you guys. I'm sure when it comes to networking for you guys, it's about finding your job, finding that career, moving ahead. For me as a professional, it's more about building my business and clients. So we have different purposes, but it's important when you're networking to always have that purpose in mind, to always know why you're going to these events, that you're going with a purpose and not just a blank. You don't want to be unprepared when it comes to networking. And these are going to be the topics we're going to be discussing, just how to market yourself, how community involvement is actually really beneficial for you and how important it is. Talk about your elevator speech. And then finally touch on social media, how to use it to the full extent by how to connect to people through LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and marketing your online presence as well. So, any questions so far about what networking is? Once you get in your career, you realize networking is pretty amazing. There's a lot of socials, going to cocktail parties, going golfing, just to meet people. So when you get older, networking, you want to start networking more. It's a lot of fun to it. So it's just about meeting people. And there's really two types of networking. It's face-to-face interaction, actually coming here, meeting you in person. And that is a lot more powerful than going through online. It leaves an impression. You get to read my body language. You get to see how people communicate, talk. So really a face-to-face networking is a lot more important and powerful than just going online and sending an email or a direct message. And usually, a majority of people who get their jobs after college is through friends and family. About 75% of people get their first job through friends and family. And that's really key of networking, is going and talking to your friends and family. If I was very unfortunate, I want to become, a financial advisor. No one in my family had any type of financial service experience. My dad was a plumber. My mom worked at Walmart. So I had no friends either. So I was scratching my head. How am I going to get into this industry without knowing anyone? And it took 8 months of just talking to people, being persistent or bothering them all the time until I finally got around to it and someone actually took an interest in me. So it's important to realize what your network is.
8 months after graduation or before graduation?
8 months after. And I did graduate in one of the worst recessions in history, so there was. That was the current economic environment. A lot of people, higher management, they got cut back, so they were filling all the entry-level jobs. So, I was just scratching my way just to get a job. I was a good student, but I wasn't a 4.0 student. So, it's just a matter of, and like I said, I didn't have that network in place, so I can ask my uncle or my dad, hey, can you help me get a job in your company? So that is actually, you realize as you get older, it's more about who you know. It's not so much what you can do, it's who you know could help benefit you. So as I was saying, it's really important that you keep on networking and you meet people and being persistent. And the other key thing is when you're networking with people and talking to people, don't sound needy. You're going to meet a lot of people. It's important to keep in touch all the time, not just when you actually need a job. So when you network with people, you keep on talking to them. You touch base with them every month or so on, just to see how they're doing. And so they keep you in mind, not just always, when you need a job, hey, now I talk to you. It really shows, it's obvious. So it's always important to always maintain your network, always keep in touch, and just keep them relationships going. You never want to really burn bridges either. So it's always important to maintain the relationship as you go on. And when it comes to networking events, yes?
Especially for business majors, if you have any suggestions for local organizations that they could begin to develop such material.
Yes, that's actually a really good one. The first one I think about, not just Penn State, Wilkes-Barre, that's a good start too, but the Chamber of Commerce in Wilkes-Barre. That's where a lot of business owners meet. I'm going to a mixer coming up the end of the month where there's cocktails, you meet a lot of people, you exchange business cards, and that's a great way to start off and just to figure out, especially for people sitting around here, who's in the community, what they're doing for the community, what their business is, and that's a great start. And there's other ways to network too, but that's probably the first start.
And I would just add, students may want to become involved with our Alumni Society, which has a meeting coming up this Thursday. Because Penn State alum are so incredibly passionate about helping Penn State students. And that meeting is at 6:30 at, I'm looking at Karen Grace Hodel, who's our alumni contact. Right. Grotto Wilkes-Barre.
I love Grotto. Good piece. So so you go to these events, you have a purpose in mind, why you want to go there, kind of learn what use the chamber as I'll use the career fair at University Park. Have a purpose why you're going there, who you want to meet, what companies you want to talk to, and why you want to talk to them. And so you're prepared and you actually could give value when you talk to them. Communication skills is key in any type of business, whether it's IT, engineering, business. You have to be able to communicate so people understand your message as well. So communication is probably the number one skill that most people look for, because they want someone you can understand who could relay information. So it's really key to have a purpose, formulate a message, so when you go to these events, you sound professional. And the key thing, don't ever forget the power of a thank you and a simple follow-up. After you meet someone, they actually show interest with you. You actually had a good conversation. Follow up with them, especially with social media these days. It's too easy to do it. I go to these events, I get business cards, I go on LinkedIn afterwards, I become their friends. Hey, you know what, good talk, something to keep from our conversation, I put in there, it was nice to meet you, I hopefully keep on talking to you, please join my network. And it's just a simple thank you, follow-up is very powerful, because a lot of things that's different. I'm sure one reason why I got the jobs I did was I really just sent a thank you afterwards. A simple thank you shows that you're actually interested and you care and you're putting some thought into it. So it's always key to follow up with just a simple thank you in the end. And when it comes to online networking, the three things I'm going to touch upon, not right now, is LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and then also blogging. Blogging is especially important. I believe that helped me got my job at Merrill Lynch. Because what I did was I blogged about investing, how to invest, stock valuation, and I created an online presence that linked all my blogging with LinkedIn, Facebook, and when the recruiter looked at my profile, he knows I was blogging. I mean, I'm passionate about investing, so I wasn't lying when I'm just writing casually about investing on the side. Especially if you're in IT, engineering, it's good to write about it. One is because when you write about it, you're able to communicate well. You're able to express your opinions about it. And two, it creates that online presence as well. And blogging is a nice way, especially in IT, because then also you create a website, and that's an added skill. And you're able to link them all together, that's something that just differentiates you from everyone else. It's just showing that you're taking initiative to start a project that no one else to tell you to do, and really shows that it makes you different from everyone else. So I really believe in blogging, writing what you're truly passionate about, especially if you're passionate about going into a certain industry, whether it's finance, healthcare. Know what the trends are, read the news, understand and write about it. And then people start following you, and then they refer you to as the investment guy, as the IT guy, or as the healthcare guy. And that's what you want to kind of create when you network yourself a brand image, so people know where to go to when they think about investments or IT. So when it comes to networking, I guess I'll go through things to do and not to do. When you go to these events, you don't want to talk about yourself too much. Yes, you want to get across what you do and what benefits you add, but it's important to listen. I mean, that's key, is you listen to what the person's trying to say, you understand what they're trying to accomplish, you listen to your employer that you want to talk to, and hopefully through that conversation, he actually says what he needs. He needs someone with problem-solving skills. He needs someone with an IT background, or someone who's very, a good engineer. And once you hear that need, then you're able to communicate back, say, hey, that's great, you know what, I'm a problem solver, I'm able to fill your need. And that's the key thing, is listening and understanding what the employer wants. And my level is understanding what my clients wants, or just trying to help them connect the dots together. And when you're networking, it's important to actually ask open-ended questions, so you don't get the yes and no answers. Ask what, why, how. I think that's really important too. So you have the conversation going. Don't be the driller though. I mean, don't keep on pummeling him with questions, him or her, but actually ask meaningful questions. And then, coming on too strong or not enough. When you meet someone, you meet the employer, the recruiter that you're trying to get to. Don't, go on full force. It's like, oh my God, hey, I finally get to meet you, and all that. You might actually come off creepy. So it's really important to actually, understand what you're trying to do and come off casually. And, the opposite also happens too. It's not coming on too strong enough. A person's not going necessarily, if they see you there, I'm not going to just come up to you and reach out to you. Sometimes you have to make the first move to get them talking, ask a few questions about them, and listen. And, a lot of people get the mindset that they never want to bother anyone. There's nothing wrong about bothering anyone. It's called being persistent. It's good. It's a good thing that you're persistent. It's a good thing that you follow up with recruiters just to see how they're doing. So being persistent is very good. And there's a fine line that you have to walk. You don't want to be too persistent, but you just want to be persistent enough that they keep you in mind throughout the course of the year, or however long you're planning to network with them. And when you go to these events, it's important, you have your group of friends already. It's important not to spend the whole night with people you already know. The purpose of networking is meeting new people, learning something different about someone else. And if you go to a networking event and you just hang out with the same group of people, it kind of defeats the purpose of networking. So, it's nothing wrong when you see a couple of people that you usually hang out with to be like, hey, you know what? I'll talk to you later. I will reconnect with you afterwards. I just want to go around and just meet a few people since I'm here. So it's always key to really, when you network, go out and actually meet new people. Pet peeve of mine, especially in today's age with technology, don't bring your phone with you to these events. You're here to have a face-to-face interaction, actually meet the person. You don't want to be the person in the corner texting away, living on social media, networking with people on that, while there's a whole network of people in front of you that you could communicate with. So it's important not to bring the technology with you. Be courteous when you shake hands, make eye contact, actually listen. I don't know how many here are over 21 yet, but always act professional. When you do network, there are mixers and stuff. You always want to act professional. Don't get carried away. I don't drink at these events just because I'm on business, so that's usually a good practice. Always act professional. And like I mentioned before, it's important to be prepared. And I'm going to touch upon the elevator speech in a little bit, is really how you become prepared. And follow up is key. You meet someone, you follow up with them with a thank you, nice to meet you. And if someone reaches out to you, it's important that you don't ignore that. You follow up with them. If a recruiter actually takes his time to reach out to you, follow up with them. They're actually showing interest with you. So it's really important to, just not ignore the communication, like, oh, I'll put it off. Do it right now. It's an email, usually a phone call. Just get back to that person. So it's always important, when someone actually does reach out to you, don't ignore them, because you are on the other end of the spectrum where you're just trying to reach out and people ignore you all the time. So why are you going to do the same to them? If it's done right, networking is very powerful. You meet a lot of different people, and you'll meet people that can actually help you succeed. Everyone loves to help someone else out, and when you're able to do that, most people will, take their time to help you. So I guess the next thing I'll touch on before the elevator speech is becoming involved with your community. Now, finding something that you actually care about. I'm not a soup kitchen guy. You're not going to see me there, but it's important to actually reach out to your community, find something that you believe in and help. How many people here are sports fans? So instead of going to soup kitchen, you can actually go out to your local high school, so you could volunteer for coaching, softball leagues and stuff like that for kids and stuff. So find something you're interested in when you're giving back to your community. And personally for me, I enjoy, this is a nice opportunity to give back to some place that really helped me along my career path for 2 years. So I'm very happy to do this. I went to my local high school to teach about financial planning, and that's something I enjoy. So it's important to find something that you actually, when you volunteer, you're going to enjoy. And like I said, it's a great way to meet people. People who volunteer usually are well established, they're influential, and they have the resources to volunteer. They're not strapped down with everyday stuff. And it really shows when you're building your network, building your brand, it shows you're responsible, you're giving back to the community, and it gets people talking that you're doing something that's not expected, but never ever expect anything from it either. So when you do talk to people, never expect anything from it. You should be doing it just because you want to. So, your elevator speech. How many of you guys heard about an elevator speech? All right. So this is going to be a new. The idea behind it is, you're in a building, you're going in an elevator, and you finally get a chance to be in front of the recruiter, the employer that you've been dying to get the job for this whole time. The elevator ride's 30, 60 seconds long. What can you say to that person within that time frame for him to follow up with you? What can you say? And that's your elevator speech. It's that 30 to 60 second commercial where you're able to deliver and that person recognizes what you're trying to do. And hopefully they express an interest in you and you can follow up with them later. Now, when networking, this is where having a purpose really comes into effect in having an elevator speech. When you're networking, it's important to be able to communicate what you do. As students, when you talk to an employer, is being able to say, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm an IT, an engineer major, I'm looking for a job. After college, I want to be able to use problem solving. But the key thing with an elevator speech is when you actually pitch it to someone is what's in it for the other person. You know, it's easy to say, you know, I do this and this and this. If I hear that, most people think, well, what's in it for me when I hear what you're telling me? So it's important to actually, when you talk to someone, when you say your elevator speech, make sure you figure out what's in it for them. So when you talk to an employer, instead of, you know, saying I do this and this and this, say, you know, I can help you with this and this and this. Make it about them. So, example, you know, I could say I'm an advisor. I help with retirement plans and setting up goals for business owners. I feel like it's a little better, and you guys instead, excuse me, it's a little better if I go, hey, you know what? My name's Thomas Casey. I'm a financial advisor. I help business owners save time and money. I do this by, you know, working on the side and allowing you to focus on your business and allow you to sleep at night. Right away, that was a feature. I help them save time and money. That's a feature, and the benefit for that is allowing them to focus on their business. So it's when you pitching an elevator speech, you gotta figure out what's in it for the person. What's in it for that recruiter or employer? Any questions so far? There we go.
Mr. Casey, I'm a very shy person.
Yes.
And when I go to mixers, I kind of sit in the corner. I kind of wait to be exposed, and then I'm texting and then if I go to let's say a job fair, I kind of just ask quickly, is there a job opening? And here's my resume, and then I walk away because I don't know what to say. And are there any more like, you've given a lot of suggestions for how to do careers,
Yeah.
but is there anything you've experienced that helped you go from this is intimidating to making that networking opportunity work for you?
Yes, I mean, it really comes down to practice, being able to keep on attending these network events. I remember my first time, I was nervous, I was unprepared, I didn't have my elevator speech, you know, I asked goofy questions. And, you know, when you become prepared and you actually have a purpose and reasons why and some meaningful questions, that does help you. But still, you know, I think I went to 6 career fairs and I progressed through, and it wasn't until the 6th one where I actually had an interview from it. So it really was going over and over and over and over. Practice. So you're saying your elevator speech at night, so you're comfortable around people. That's the only way to really get over that fear and just, you know, put yourself out there. I mean, and that's what networking is all about. Is, you know, don't be scared. I mean, everyone else, you know, is in the room for the same reason. So you're just like everyone else, and it's all right. So, like I said, practice is probably the best thing that helped me get over it. And you might not see results right away. You know, I got tons of no's. But I was persistent and kept with it until I got a few yes. So, I mean, that's probably the best advice I could give to someone is just keep at it. So, I mean, that's the key thing with the elevator speech. Now, social media. This is, how many here have a LinkedIn profile? There you go. I mean, that is key, especially for employers. Like, if you think about it, if someone meets you for the first time and you express interest to, hey, you want to work for them, the first thing they do is probably Google your name. See who you are, see if you're relevant, see if you have a presence. That's the first thing they do. They look where you're at on LinkedIn, you have Facebook, any blogs, any websites, and that actually, you know what, having that online presence shows a lot. And you know what? LinkedIn is a great way to connect with people. It's also a great way to keep your resume up to date. I'm sure when you guys are going for jobs, you have a resume. It's an easy way to keep up to date. I mean, I think there's a button on LinkedIn that you can actually print out your current resume from LinkedIn. So it really does save you some time too. And I mean, it really allows you to connect with people in the end. And you know, a little later on, I'll go into how the progression of how do you actually make a connection from social media to someone who you never met to actually have a face-to-face conversation. But the benefits of LinkedIn is actually using some of the features it has. It's a great place to go for a company search. I remember when I was looking for jobs, I looked at Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley. They have tons of information on there where you could join the groups and actually understand, you know, what their trends are, actually understand what's going on in the industry. And you can also find people that might be in the area that you could connect with too. So there's a way to find out who's in your network already. You can always email the people too. Usually once you connect with them, you can send a friendly email. One thing I noticed that works is never ask for help, but ask for advice. People love giving advice. I mean, it really comes down. When you ask someone, can I get something that is like a put off? You have to word it like, hey, can I get some advice? And people, oh yeah, of course, yeah. I always love to give people advice because, you know, you empower them. They feel great about it, that someone's actually going out of their way to, you know, ask them for advice. So as you know, when you're networking through social media, it's important to word it right and not to sound needy. And again, with the blog, you know, I had it linked through all of them, so when I post something, it was in 4 locations. My website, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. I had different networks on each and on all of them, so when I posted a blog, I probably reached out to 1,000 people instantly that at least know that, hey, I'm writing about something. It creates that presence. So it's really important to link all these accounts together. And a couple of recommendations when you're building your social media network is, especially in LinkedIn, is again, recommendations. You probably know that you're going to need some type of letter recommendation when you go for jobs. Well, LinkedIn has a feature where people can endorse your skills, recommend you for what you've done in the past. So you could just refer to your employer, hey, do I have a list of people that are saying I'm already doing a great job? You can actually maybe sidestep the letter recommendation, but it's always good to get a formal letter too. Again, with the status updates, you know, if you're looking for a job, tell people you're looking for jobs. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people don't, you know, say I'm looking for a job, and you know, someone else, you know, one of your friends is like, you know, I need someone to help me find the job, or I need someone to work for me. You know, they need someone. So it's important to let people know that you're looking for a job. And this one I liked a lot was the headline. You know, this one person had his headline as a consultant. Instead of just as a consultant, he put innovative marketer with a drive for results. It's eye-catching. It's different. It at least allows you to be different among everyone else. And Twitter, that's another useful thing. It's just basic networking. When you follow certain industries or companies, you find people to connect with, you read their bios, then you can just reach out to them. They may say no to you, or they might not respond, but eventually you do get someone who responds to you, and they usually share job information. Twitter is usually the first round of, you know, information that goes through, especially for job posts. It's another way to connect and, you know, just follow companies overall with their news. Again, it's important to link everything together and understand what's going on within the company. And last is Facebook. Again, remember, Facebook is more personal. That's with your friends. But always keep up with the status updates. And something I've been doing a lot more is actually tagging people in my status updates. So, you know, tonight I'm probably going home, hey, I was in Penn State Wilkes-Barre, and you know, I miss hanging out with my old friends, so and so and so and so and so and so. I tagged 4 people. Well, that status goes to 4 different people's network groups. So right away, it expands a lot faster than just doing that status, and it keeps within your network. So it's important, and people like getting tagged anyway. I mean, who doesn't? So it's important to tag, and that's really helpful. So I guess the last thing I'm going to touch upon is how you actually connect with people through social media. I mean, there's kind of a progression. You really just don't, hey, email someone, or if they have their phone number, you just don't call them up. You kind of have to build a rapport over time. And it's kind of 5 levels. So let's say you want to get a job at a company. You become a member of the group on LinkedIn. You see their posts. You actually contribute to their posts. You send news, and you comment on articles, what people say. So it's a public reply. You show that you're interested, you're replying to them, and they notice you actually have some good opinions, good facts to support it, and you keep on doing that. Eventually, what happens is, when you're talking with someone, you notice you keep on commenting on someone, comment back and forth, that you can have a direct message from the side kind of agreeing with each other. You send that email or just a quick message saying, you know what, I liked your article, I agree with you, so-and-so comment on that, that person's completely wrong, but I see where you're coming from. So that's really how you connect to that person. Then you keep on, the next level would be, level 3 would be emailing that person. Email is a little more in depth. You can write a lot more, communicate more, express your feelings. So now you start emailing this person back and forth that you want to connect with. After a while, what you do is invite for either a phone conversation. Hey, I would like to really talk to you sometime about, a job that I see on the company and get your input. So you actually have the phone conversation, and once you have that phone conversation, from there you could probably actually set up an in-person conference or an in-person meeting where the person will actually come out and meet with you. It doesn't always go smoothly. There'd be no's along the way. It's like, what, I'm not interested in. But I mean, that's how you progress through level of communications. Really just, through Facebook, if you want someone to notice you, you just comment on their status and so forth. Then eventually you email them. Then eventually you actually talk to them, see where they're going, find out where they hang out. Then you finally meet them. And that's how you really use social media networking to its full effect when you're trying to find jobs from companies.
Excuse me, Tim.
Yeah.
So you've talked about the positive things
Mhm.
and how to use social media in a positive way. Have you had any experience with negative drawbacks and people not getting jobs from social media?
Yes. I mean, I had this one person, friend of me, was something Merrill. I'm like, oh, that's someone from Merrill Lynch. I mean, it was kind of obvious, but it's important to actually keep up with your online presence, not to it's all right to have a photo of your buddies, having a good time with a couple of drinks, but not, that photo you going to the bathroom in the public. That's like crossing the line. So, and a lot of my friends, they had that, and they're trying to get jobs, and, when they look at your profile, that's, who is this person? So it's important to actually make sure you don't allow any leaks of bad photos out in public, have, well thought opinions, because it can be adverse effects from it. So it's important to have that positive online presence.
So say I had a profile with a bunch of illicit photos on it.
Mm-hmm.
I deleted that and created a whole new one. What are the odds of because once it's on the internet, you can't really delete anything.
Yeah, privacy, yeah. No privacy.
So is there a way that I imagine there is a way, but is there, what are the chances of a future employer finding your deleted profile?
I mean, I'll be honest, I had pictures that, I'm not too proud of now when I think about it. And it's just, what you can do is delete them, send them away, and they shouldn't come back. Just delete them. Hopefully it wasn't tagged by anyone else. The sooner the better, and try to avoid that stuff too. So.
Also, one of the ways I took care of that is I used a different name, still my name, but I put in my middle name, so that when they searched, it was a different name than what my old Facebook was.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if it's Karen Grace, well, now it's Karen Brace Holt, and I actually put in my middle name, Louise. So it works best.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of my friends, they went through that. You know, they had tons of pictures and kind of reinvent themselves, rebranded themselves.
Right.
They just delete the whole profile because, and then they just create a new one. Eventually,
Right.
Facebook does respect your privacy to some degree. If you delete your profile, then pictures go away.
Right.
So it's a lot harder to find. So that's probably the best way if you do have a lot of photos. So.
Because number one, you're not going to troll through 5 years worth and that your buddy went on there and said something really bad and you didn't get it deleted, but yet somebody could do that.
Yeah.
And so it's really best, if you are worried about that, the bottom line, delete it, start new.
Yeah.
Were you able to land an internship? No.
Was I able to land an internship? I didn't. I waited tables throughout college and I tutored. So it wasn't an official internship. I was making good money bartending. So I didn't see, even though it would have been probably beneficial to be in the industry, I was making like $15 an hour. So, and I didn't want to feel like doing a free internship because I had bills to pay. But that is actually something, if you can, I would wish I kind of redid it over to land an internship. I think it's actually really important because you just gain that experience. So it's really important. If you can get an internship, especially a paying internship, do it. And if you don't get a paying internship, do that and do a side job to make that extra money for the summer.
I wanted to just kind of support one of the points you were making about the thank you after an interview. When I interviewed here, I don't know, there were 2 or 3 other candidates. I didn't meet them, but it was something years later that my colleagues had noted that I was the only one who had written back with a thank you. And whether I was the best candidate anyways, I don't know. But one of the questions, when they're interviewing you, you've already met the kind of minimum requirements. Otherwise you would even get into an interview.
Yeah.
But the other question is, do they want to work with you? So are you a good fit? And are you someone that they want to interact with on day in, day out basis? And perhaps
I mean,
that answer will be yes, yes, more often if you're sending thank you.
I mean, you kind of nailed it. The whole point of an interview is see if they like you. I mean, yes, you need to know certain job skills and stuff like that, but a lot of jobs, especially when you come out of college, there's a learning curve. There's some online, on-job training as well. So, but main purpose of the interview is they like you. And also if you have the skills, but if they like you, I know a couple of people, they didn't have the experience, but they really liked the person. They hired them and just provide the training for them on the job. It's more about the soft skills. Are you able to communicate? Are you well liked and stuff like that? And not so much the hard skills. But when you move up in your career, it becomes more important, especially if you're a programmer. You already need to know the languages of C++, SQL, all that fun stuff. Like you need to know about investing and all that fun stuff as well. So, yes.
Hi, can I add to that? You just brought to mind, I was in a position to hire somebody, to hire an assistant to work in New York City for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh, nice.
And I needed an assistant. And I interviewed a number of people, and the person I hired was a young man. It was his first job out of college, but he must have left my office and gone to a card shop and gone back to the receptionist's desk and said, give this to her, because it's like within an hour, I had a thank you note, and I said, this kid is really hungry.
Yes.
He was really good, but he really showed me through that. And he wrote, it was a really nice written note. And I hired him.
Yeah.
I think he's still there. He's probably running.
How many are graduating this spring in here, anybody? graduates?
Yeah, we have a couple.
We have 2 more.
Oh, okay. One of the things you'll be given is a 3 years membership into the Penn State Wilkes-Barre Alumni Society. And that's the start of your networking right there. Tom comes to our meetings all the time. We have a person who works for Prudential. We have a person who works for the University of Scranton. We have people from Commonwealth Telephone. We have people from Procter & Gamble. And they all come to the meeting. And one of the things that's a benefit of you as a graduate of Penn State is that you're automatically put in the network, and Penn State has the largest dues-paying membership alumni in all the universities in the country.
And in the world.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's huge. So I can't stress that enough.
So how many are going to University Park? You guys excited? Yeah. How many have been to University Park so far? If you guys have any questions, I mean, I remember when I went there, I moved in with my one roommate I went to high school with, and the first day he just gave me a map. So, and, you know, it was, I guess, you know, I was fine with it. It was a little overwhelming. It's a lot different, so just, you know, when you're there, keep focused. You know, I was a really good student here, but then when I got to Union Park, it was a lot more, you know, I was still a good student, but there was a lot of tempting things to go out a little bit more and stuff like that. So, granted, I still had a great time, so.
For students that are going to be declaring their major, I trust you've done that if you're sophomores on E-Lion, and intending to go to University Park. We will be sponsoring a bus to Link Up, which will be the first Saturday in April. I want to say April 5th. You'll see information come out on email. That's very advantageous to attend that because, I mean, there's no cost to you. It gives you an opportunity to meet with the academic college that you're going to be majoring in, and they will be giving you information in terms of courses that you should be taking, an opportunity to see what would be relevant networking clubs for you to join when you're there.
Yeah, you don't want to be that person who go to U Park and don't know anyone. So, networking. Meet some people there, so especially if you find someone within your field. All right. Yep.
That, when I was not finished my dissertation and got on the job market, I applied to 77 jobs. And I say that with some pride and maybe some embarrassment both. But I was persistent, and out of the 77, I got only 7 interviews. So I was sometimes, I just want to go to Hawaii and stuff, so I was trying to stretch it. They saw through my attempts. But then it led to 3 on-campus interviews and 3 offers. But I really put that umbrella of, you know, of invitations and applications out there. So don't get discouraged if you apply to a few or you determine in your mind, this is the best job for me, and then if it doesn't work out, I give up. Because just have in mind, at least have you hit 77 yet?
And that's really important. I mean, I could relate to that. I mean, I applied to 400, so I was a little different. Every 50, I would get 1 interview. It was a full-time job applying to jobs. I really spent, you know, 30 hours, at least 5 applications a day, so about 30 applications a week, something like that. And out of every 40, 50, I would actually get an interview. It's, you know, especially in this job market, you guys, you know what, you'd probably be better off in a couple years when you do graduate, so the job market should be a little bit better, but never get discouraged. You know, if you really want it, you keep on going for it. That's, I mean, that's key. You know, you gotta put some work to it though.
How long have you had this job?
This, over a year.
Over a year?
Yeah.
Is
And
there anything that you can specify or give advice to on how to, I guess, make your job secure that there's no risk of you being replaced or, how that's that's what I said. But just overall job security, is there anything that you have done or advice you can give on that?
One thing is always continue your education. I feel like that's extremely important. Being knowledgeable within your industry, giving yourself a competitive advantage, never falling behind. Meeting people, meet with people, network with people. That's kind of the key things. In my industry, there are certain jobs that are more stable than others. So it's important to realize, what job you're in and what the company's trying to do as well. So I say education is probably the number one important thing. I'm not saying, it's always good to go back to college and university, but just keeping up with the trends, reading what's going on within the company and what you're trying to accomplish. Yep.
So say you find a company that you really love, but they aren't hiring, would it still be advantageous for you to submit your resume? Just to get your name out there?
I think it would be more advantageous if you just talk to recruiters about it. You could send, it doesn't hurt to send your resume, of course, but remember I was saying how it's important to keep in touch, not just when you need something. Well, eventually they're going to need you for their company, and if you've been talking to them throughout the year and they know, hey, you know what, I actually know this guy, he's looking for a job and actually have a job opening now, they'll go to you first, then that person, that realizes there's a job opening, oh, I know this person, let me just, hey, can I get this job? So that's where really keeping in touch with that person throughout the year, even though they might not have a need to hire you right away. All right.
I want to thank you all, and thanks to Thomas for coming. Just a couple of reminders. We are going to have another alum come on February 7th, so mark your calendar. February 21st as well. We have 2 more alum coming. Please sign in. We would like to keep in contact with you. And also, Thomas has agreed that if you do have further questions, I could give out his email address. So networking. And again, thank you so much for coming. And Thomas, we just want to present you with this. So thank you again for coming and taking your time out today. Enjoy your day, everybody. Thank you.